Welcome back, everybody, to Niners Now. I'm your host, Brady Grustas, at Grustas Brady on X. You can follow me there. And we are back with the Week 16 stock report in today's video. Of course, there were some dominant performances on Monday night by both teams, and we're going to discuss all the movers and shakers in this video. And stick around until later in the show because we've got a major injury update, and we'll be wrapping up the episode with the comments section. But of course, before we begin, go ahead and subscribe down below. The support has been amazing so far, so please leave a like, leave a comment, and let's get into it. So I want to start first with the stock up category. And where else do I begin but Brock Purdy? I mean, what else is there even to say about this guy? He is playing out of his mind over the last couple of weeks. He just put up 5 touchdowns on a defense who held the Seahawks to 0. Take that, Seattle fans who may have come across this video. Brock is phenomenal, and he's playing phenomenal. This was the best game of his career, so I had to put him as a stock-up player. I mean, he was elite in this game. Next up, Alfred Collins and CJ West. I'm going to combine them here because both of these guys got their first career sacks in this game. West was through a double team, just the grittiest, ugliest sack ever. And of course, that's how he got it. I mean, that guy is such a grinder. Love watching CJ West play. And then Collins was a very Alfred Collins play as well. He throws the guard to the other side, barrels through the B gap, and the impact of a man his size hitting Phillip Rivers was enough to shoot the ball 10 yards backwards. It was unbelievable. Like, Collins barely even touched Rivers, but that ball went flying backwards, and unfortunately a Colt landed on it. But it was still an awesome play from Alfred Collins. These two were the best defensive tackles on the 49ers roster. They're not just on this list because they had their sacks today. They are the 2 best defensive tackles on the team. And I want to see them starting moving forward. I don't want to see any more Jordan Elliott and Kalia Davis rolled out there to start the game. They'll certainly be starting come next season, but I'd like to see them starting as soon as this Sunday against Chicago because I think they give you truly the best chance to win if they're out there on the field. And last but not least, in the stock up category, we're talking about another defensive starter, and that's linebacker D. Winters. Defense had a lot of issues against the Colts, but Winters was not one of them. He's having a really nice couple of weeks. I'm not worried about Winters as a long-term starter here. I don't think the 49ers need to go add a linebacker, at least not a weak side linebacker. Maybe you could get a Sam backer. But back on the Winters front, this guy's speed is unreal. He triggers to the ball so fast. And the recognition from Winters on that pick 6 he had was awesome. Great job picking up on the audible that Phillip Rivers called out. He changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Winters saw it coming. He saw Warren all the way, jumped in front of the pass, and then had the speed to get around everybody and score the touchdown. Absolutely insane play from Winters. He's been awesome the last couple of weeks. So that's stock up. Now let's talk about stock down. Some guys who struggled. And that's got to start with Darrell Luter Jr. He was torched over and over again by Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman. And then, of course, the one nice play that Darrell Luter did make, he gets called for defensive pass interference. It was a terrible call. Darrell Luter finally made one good play on the football, and the ref was so mystified by it that he threw a flag. It was ridiculous. It was so dumb. But, Luter just didn't have a good day, in coverage at least. He was pretty good against the run. He usually is. Would Dallas Flowers have been better? That was the conversation in camp. Is it going to be Luter or Flowers? Luter wins the job, and he's started a couple times so far this season. We'll never know if Dallas Flowers would have been worse than Luter, but on this day, Luter really struggled. Who also struggled? Jordan Elliott at defensive tackle. This was a vintage Jordan Elliott game, and I do not mean that nicely. He was blown off the line of scrimmage over and over and over again. He was the worst defensive tackle on the field for either football team. I think that's pretty easy for me to say. He's he's a frustrating player because he offers nothing of value as a pass rusher, just nothing at all. So he's a single-use player. He's a specialist, right? And that's fine. There's plenty of specialists in the NFL, especially on the defensive line. But if Elliott's going to be a run defense specialist, he can't even do that. He can't hold up against a double team. He's embarrassing and gets blown 6 yards off the ball. So Elliott, he can't rush the passer, and then he can't defend the run either. He doesn't do anything out there. I'm done with Jordan Elliott. I'd like to see him lose the starting job. Sorry, Mr. Elliott, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're a great guy, but we got to see Alfred Collins and CJ West out there. And my last stock down, this is not a guy I expected to be talking about here, but it's Bryce Huff. Where's Huff been? Has anyone thought about Bryce Huff the last month and a half of football? Because I haven't. He's been doing barely anything out there. He's not a number one. He's not a number one pass rusher. And we got to remember that when it comes time to decide whether or not to bring back Bryce Huff to this football team. He is so good when there are players around him to kind of take pressure away and get him those consistent one-on-ones. However, he hasn't had a sack since the Atlanta game. That was week 7. That was nearly 10 weeks ago. It's clear that Bryce Huff is not able to single-handedly elevate this pass rush like a guy like Nick Bosa is, right? He's not an alpha pass rusher. He is a secondary piece that you add to this team, and he struggled as of late. I think we've got to call it out. We talk about when guys are playing great, and we talk about when guys are not playing great. Huff is giving the occasional pressure, the occasional speed rush, but it's just not enough. I need him to start connecting for sacks for a team who is the last in the NFL in sacks. They've got, like 17, 18 at this point, 19 maybe. They don't have 20. I know that. And Myles Garrett nearly has 23 and the all-time NFL record. But enough about that. Let's get in now to the injury updates. There's one big one in particular. George Kittle, according to Jeremy Fowler, is dealing with a, quote, mid to low ankle sprain. Avoiding the high ankle sprain is massive news, right? That is the takeaway here. It is so unfortunate that Kittle got hurt. I think this offense is way worse without Kittle in, and you could kind of see that in Indianapolis. The offense started to sputter a bit as soon as Kittle went out. But they avoided the high ankle, which means he should be able to return this season. Now, depends on the severity. We still don't really know yet what the timetable looks like. But if it comes down to pain tolerance, Kittle could be back by Sunday. He could be back by this week. Or he could be out for the rest of the regular season, and we're hoping for a playoff return for Kittle. You know, this game being on a short week is really unfortunate timing for this injury in particular. And we didn't hear anything about the other injuries sustained to the 49ers. I believe Tatum Bethune was out for a little bit. So we'll get the injury report. We'll get the injury update as the week goes along from Kyle Shanahan. But really hoping that Kittle can go on Sunday because he would be massive and really, really help this team against the Chicago Bears, where they will certainly need him. Now, last but not least, let's get into the comments section. Of course, if you want to be featured in the comment section, all you got to do is leave a comment. Leave a comment. You can comment on me. You can comment on the new setup. I'm home for the holidays now, so we got some interesting lighting going on. Still trying to figure out the ideal filming setup. You can comment on that. You can comment on your holiday plans, on the 49ers, whatever you like. The more you comment, the more likely you are to be featured in the episode. Of course, thank you to the 3 folks who I did feature, but don't you worry, I read every single comment, even the ones that are not featured here. Let's start now with the first comment from Robert. This was before the Monday night game. Robert says, hey, really excited about the game tonight. As you know, I've been wanting to see the 49ers really blow out this team because if everyone does their jobs, we should be able to put the Colts away early. If we can get the pass rush going, we should be able to put Old Man Rivers back on the couch. The other key is to stop Jay Taylor, and hopefully we can rest a few vets. The Niners pretty much followed that game plan. I wouldn't say they put the Colts away early, but they did put them away. Are you coaching this team out there, Robert? Because that was pretty spot on. The Colts put up more fight late in the game than I thought they would, but the Niners had control all the way through. They got to rest some veterans at the end. Mac Jones was the one taking the knee. I saw Marquise Siegel out there on defense, right? We'll see if Phillip Rivers rolls back out there or if they go to Riley Leonard for their last 2 games of the year, because their playoff hopes are pretty much done. And yeah, you were right, Robert. The key was to stop Jonathan Taylor. He was under 3 yards a carry in this game, and it led to a win for the 49ers. Next comment from Adrian. I don't think Pearsall is wide receiver 1 potential. Adrian, very bold take, sir. I would love to hear you expand on this. If you want to leave it in the comments. If you're arguing that Ricky can't stay healthy enough to be a wide receiver 1, I get that, sure. But when he's on the field, Pearsall's pretty fantastic. It's not really a potential thing. He kind of is a wide receiver 1 when he's playing. Because even when he's not getting the ball, he is open so often. He is open all the time. And sometimes he gets the ball, sometimes he doesn't. But he's doing everything you're asking of him. I don't think that he has wide receiver 1 potential. I think he is a wide receiver 1 when he is healthy. Would love to hear your expanded thoughts on this, Adrian. And of course, if you have any other thoughts on Ricky Pearsall, let me know down below in the comments. Last comment now from Hilo's World. We win, we stay at home. Go Niners. And this is exactly right, because not only do the 49ers play their next 2 games at home, but if they win both of those games, they get that 1 seed, which means they have home field advantage throughout the playoffs up until the Super Bowl, which, you guessed it, is in San Francisco. So there remains a world where the 49ers, if they just keep winning, they will be able to play at home until the end of the season, which is pretty special. You don't see that very often, and I really hope that the 49ers are able to close it out on a giant home winning streak. But do you think the 49ers will be able to do so? Do you think they'll get that 1 seed? Do you think they'll make the Super Bowl on their home turf? And who do you think really stood out against the Indianapolis Colts? Let me know down below in the comments. And of course, let me know if you enjoyed. Leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know if there's any topics that you'd like to see me cover. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe for 49ers videos 5 days a week. I'm Brady Grustas, at Grustas Brady on X. This has been Niners Now, and I'll see you tomorrow.